Prosus says it's on track to shoot the lights out. The global investment group expects to report more than $430 million in full-year adjusted earnings before interest and tax for its e-commerce portfolio. This exceeds the firm's goal of $400 million. Boosting e-commerce profit is key to the company's strategy to double its value by mid-2028. More detail on the group's financials will be available when Prosus opens its books in June. Shareholders have clinked glasses in celebration of Anheuser-Busch InBev's quarterly results. The brewer has posted a 7.9% rise in operating profit for the first 3 months of its financial year. That beats analyst estimates by more than double and comes as the beer maker managed to grow its margins despite a fall in sales volumes. CEO Michael Dokaris says this is a solid start to the year for AB InBev and reinforces the firm's confidence in meeting its forecast for 2025. Lesaka Technologies is eyeing growth in 2026. The firm, which was formerly known as Net1, expects earnings to rise by about 40% in its next financial year. The disclosure comes as part of a third-quarter trading update from the group. During the period, revenue slipped close to 4% to 2.5 billion rand. That's at the midpoint of guidance. Carl Group has reported a 4.6% decline in first-half headline earnings. That's as the agriculture, fuel and manufacturing company suffered a revenue dip during the period. That was partly due to reduced grain handling income. Nevertheless, the group has declared an interim dividend of 56 cents per share. That's up 3.7% from a year ago. But Carl is expecting a better second half. It says the onboarding of new fuel site acquisitions will support its performance in the coming months. Mondi has delivered a rise in earnings for the first quarter. That's as the global packaging and paper company benefited from higher sales volumes, good cost control, and fewer planned maintenance shutdowns. The company's underlying earnings before interest, tax, depreciation and amortization rose to 290 million euros during the period. That's from 261 million euros in the previous quarter. The improvement includes a 2 million euro forestry fair value gain, which reverses a 27 million euro loss in the fourth quarter of last year. Mondi is banking on price hikes to bolster it from this quarter and is also ramping up capacity for its sustainable packaging products. Global trade wars have dealt a blow to paper and pulp producer Sappi in recent months. The group has reported a $20 million loss for the second quarter. That compares to a $29 million profit in the comparative period. With less than 7% of Sappi's sales involving cross-border trade with the U.S., the concern is not tariffs' direct effect, but rather the indirect effect on inflation, global growth, and trade routes. Sappi says it is monitoring the environment closely and its focus will be on maintaining operational flexibility and cost discipline in the face of these external challenges. Manufacturing production fell 0.8% year-on-year in March. That's from a 3.2% slump the previous month. The latest reading marks the 5th consecutive month of declines in industrial activity, but is the mildest in the sequence. The downturn was broad-based, with several sectors producing less, but significant rebounds were observed in glass and non-metallic mineral products, as well as in textiles, clothing, leather and footwear. In international news, Toyota Motor expects profit to decline by a fifth in the current financial year, as weakness in the US dollar and the impact of President Donald Trump's tariffs weigh on the world's largest automaker. Let's take a look for more detail.
Toyota is bracing for a major impact from tariffs. The world's biggest automaker said Thursday that it expected profits to fall by a fifth this year, partly as a result. Besides the effect of the tariffs themselves, Toyota also faces a hit from the declining dollar, which reduces the value of its earnings in the US. The greenback slide is widely seen as a byproduct of the trade turmoil. Speaking at a news conference, Chief Executive Koji Sato said that details on the tariffs remained largely unclear adding to the difficulty of dealing with them. Like all automakers, Toyota is also exposed to any downturn in growth and consumer sentiment as a result of the global tensions. If it decides to respond to the tariffs by shifting more output to the US, that could also mean a jump in spending if it has to expand factories there. The picture elsewhere in the world is also tough, not least in China. Though Toyota has seen its sales there fall less than other Japanese brands, it has still struggled to halt a decline amid mounting competition from Chinese makers. The one bright spot for the company is its home market of Japan, where profits jumped by 18% over the fourth quarter. Overall, the company saw operating profit for the 3 months through March come in nearly flat, up just 0.3%.
And the Bank of England cut its main interest rate by 0.25 percentage points to 4.25% today, despite an unexpected three-way split among policymakers as US President Donald Trump tariffs weigh on global economic growth. Here's more detail in this report.
Sportswear brand Puma reported a decline in first-quarter profit margin on Thursday and flat first-quarter sales as the company cuts costs in an attempt to turn its performance around. Puma's sales of $2.35 billion were slightly better than analysts' forecasts, but weaker sales to retailers in the US and China drove Puma's wholesale business, its main sales driver, down by 3.6%. Puma is in a period of limbo, having named former Adidas sales chief Arthur Hold its new CEO. Until he starts the role in July, the board is leading the company. Puma stuck to its 2025 outlook for low to mid-single-digit sales growth, but said that excludes any impact from US tariffs. It says it's already reduced its US imports from China, which are subject to tariffs of 145%. Like its competitors, Adidas and Nike, Puma would be hit hard if Donald Trump reinstates steep tariffs on Southeast Asia. They're currently paused until July. Puma buys 28% of its products from factories in China. Vietnam is just behind that, and Cambodia produces 16%.